Nichols on Weston Nelson's channel. We hope to have Weston Nelson in a moment. We have an amazing guest. We have Fantom Alerts, Austin. Austin is with us today. We are totally excited to have Austin here. We're just going to chill and enjoy and talk about Fantom and awesome projects. You want to introduce yourself more than that, I've almost called you Fantom Alerts.
Oh, man, that's fine. People call me all sorts of weird stuff. Thanks, Dave. Yeah, everyone, my name's Austin. I know we're streaming on my channel too, so you guys know me. But
the man,
Weston, we've got to get your camera working, dude. I don't know what the hell's going on, man. You're just
let me work on that while you intro yourself. I wanted to say the man, the myth, the legend all night, so I had to get that in right away.
All right.
Okay. So somebody's saying in the chat over here that we have some echo going on. I'm not sure. Can you be more specific? Is it coming from Dave or coming from me? I actually don't hear it on my end. But anyhow, so real quick, FTM Alerts. Originally, man, it was just a Twitter account like that had 1,000 followers maybe, and this is back when multi-chain first launched. The first bridge into Fantom, right? Like our entire world had opened up at that point because assets could come over, and so I'm like, well, shit, I'm just going to start a Twitter account and, we'll just like alert people to new stuff that's going on Fantom. Oh, man, Weston, turn it back off. I'm just kidding, bro. And then, and all this, it just blew up, man. And it became the type of thing, one day somebody suggested we launch a Discord and we did that. And one day somebody was like, hey, man, you should do YouTube videos. And I started doing that. And all of a sudden I started meeting all these people that just became my family. And
so you didn't plan any of this? You just were a Twitter, and then it just naturally grew from there. That's incredible. Most people plan to blow up. You actually just naturally
a fun guy to chat with, and I think everybody enjoys that. If you know what you're talking about, I see it. It's kind of
if you know what you're talking about, and you don't sound like this.
Dude, I drink, I don't know if y'all, I'm going to plug Celsius real quick. It's like this no carb energy drink that
the crypto
app. I'm confused.
No,
I'm
the energy drink.
Land, but you're talking to me about a drink?
I just keep it pumping through my veins all day, man. It keeps me fired up for all of our calls. So
love it. So sorry, I think I missed the very start, but did you guys cover what, I know we're just gonna have a casual chat, share some tips about DeFi trading, all that stuff, but did you cover the other kind of main points?
Oh no, we are not financial advisors, nor do we want to be your financial advisor.
that too. But just super excited to have Austin FTM Alerts on here. I was gonna say I got the man, the myth, the legend thing in, but he's like the OG to the Fantom ecosystem, and so this will just be a great chat. Wanted to provide as much education for people interested in DeFi, which is going like this right now. From start to finish, we can share advanced things, simple things, but there are so many opportunities that are timely right now, and so that's I think we can have a quick talk about stuff, and then I'll of course always do a follow up. But that was kind of my intent. So just wanted to get that out of the way, so people know where we're going.
It's actually funny story. My little brother's in town. He's visiting, and he came up for some other reasons. But I started showing him DeFi, and it's like when you've got somebody that's brand new and you start to show them the ecosystem, and what happens is I'll start talking about, okay, here's how you pair up LPs, and then I go, okay, and here's how you take out a massive loan and you throw it up, and he's like, what the hell are you talking about, dude? Slow it down, So it's really good for
LPs,
right? Exactly. It's good to get to basics, right? Because I think one of the best things that we can do is we can lower the barrier to entry for people that are new, show them how to bridge, show them how to get involved, earning returns that are not only unavailable in the real world, but seem like scams to everyone that doesn't understand how they work. So huge deal.
Yeah, my mom thinks she literally like I told her I was getting 300% APR, and she's like, that's a scam.
You should have told her about my 2.4K% APR. It's probably who wouldn't believe you.
Right. Now, and of course those change, but that's why you got to be mindful and on top of things. And I trade full time, and this is all I do, right? So there's little things that I can share that should help the person entering, or advanced people too, to just continually manage that risk and get better returns. But yeah, DeFi.
Oh, I have got to share with you guys something about Weston. Forgive me, but Weston is like the super scalping, short time frame, high speed, smart. He once showed me how to use one Fantom to do 60 things on like 6 protocols in an hour. Check it out. He shorted Bitcoin DeFi wise. He made money. Every little thing he felt ran him in 60 minutes. He made money. And at the end, I was like, and you did it with one Fantom. At the time, it was like 50 cents. So now when this guy gets into a project and it dips and he's still in, I know something's changed. Like Weston is holding through periods that he normally wouldn't. He's like, it's cool. I'm in an LP. I'll get more of it. I'm like, what happened to you? Have you learned how to hodl?
Yeah, well, it's different. It definitely is, because when you have something that you fundamentally believe in, and I think, Austin, you could probably attest to this too. It's like, I'm so bullish on DeFi, passionate about DeFi and crypto, what it can do for our world, but also bullish on just, Fantom, Avalanche, I guess Polygon, Luna, Solana too, but Fantom and Avalanche really are kind of the two that I'm focused on. And it's like, yeah, there's some projects you just are going to be better off hodling. Not that I still don't do like 100 trades a day, but
I once made it 24 hours with 2 trades because I honestly trade my trade and I didn't see one I liked.
That's everybody's different trader, right? Like Austin, I don't know are you? I know you're knee deep in everything too, and you've been doing charts. Like, do you use a lot of technical analysis, or are you just trying to speak with the teams as much as you can? I was going to layer like 4 questions on there, but I'll wait.
No, that's fine. I'll give you a little bit of background. So in 2008, I got really big into EAs, right? For anyone that doesn't know what an EA is, it's called an expert advisor. It's essentially a trading robot that runs on MetaTrader 4 that has to do with the Forex market traditionally. And this was before cryptocurrencies existed. And there was one called, it was called Forex Autopilot. And essentially what it would do is it would scalp the major pairs on the Asian session in the 15-minute time frame, right? So that's because Asia would just kind of range, and so it was decent. But what ended up happening with the EA is it got so popular that everyone was scalping each other on the same brokers. And as you know, most of these brokers, you're just trading in a sandbox. They're not actually sending them through to the real market, and so everyone was just kind of scalping against one another. But what ended up happening is I connected with this dude named Daniel, who really I wanted somebody to teach me TA, right? So he came and did a 6-week course in my house just with me, teaching me how to read charts. And this was almost 14 years ago. This was before Bitcoin even existed. And honestly, I put it away for a long time until I got into cryptocurrency. And then I started just kind of resurrecting some of this stuff that I had learned ages ago, right? So that's my history with TA. I do not actively trade because I don't have the patience. I'm not the patience really. I like being able to walk away from my computer and not having to babysit something, So I just hang out with hang out with LP positions in projects that I'm uber bullish on, and if I didn't hold them in LP, I'd hold them in my wallet. So
gotcha. So occasionally, but more or less, you're hodling the top projects, and that changes. And that's simple as that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we want to get into specifics, but we can if you want to. I mean,
yeah, I mean, I think maybe a little teaser here, and then we can talk about the real stuff, the real alpha, and where we think the best stuff is as we go. But I kind of know I think I know what you're going to say, but yeah, please do.
All right. So, I mean, there's, obviously Spirit and Boo. Those are my 2 loves. I am consistently accumulating them, not only because, of my interactions with the team and just knowing kind of what's coming, but just once Fantom's starting to blow up. But I think what people miss is that we are on the very first part of the upward slope as to where Fantom will go. And so
Yeah.
when we start to reach our true potential, Spirit Swap and Spooky Swap are going to be absolute whales. One that I think people don't realize how big it's going to be is Beethoven X. Beethoven X is an absolutely incredible team that they're a balancer fork.
The balancer fork on Fantom with 200 million TVL and a market cap of like $10 million. It's
yes.
like, what?
It kind of feels like they have pools that are attracting investors, because you can go into like one of their symphonies where it's all of Daniele's projects, or you can go into like all the top projects. You can put 10 and 20% in a bunch of different things and let it ride. I think it's a really cool way to
Very bullish myself,
be involved in a lot if you're not sure what you want. I don't know if it's something you would hold long term, or it's something you could get started on until you get more bullish on something specific, but it's kind of cool what they're doing.
It is. And you know the team, you're saying Austin, right?
Yeah, I know the team really well. I mean, when they first were launching, Beavis and I hopped on a Zoom with two of the founders and just got floored, not only by them as people, but like by their capabilities. And they gave us some background about their real life ventures, and we knew that they were qualified. And they're just a really excellent team. I'm super bullish on the Beats token. I think people don't really realize what kind of a whale that's going to be. So that's just my own, take that for what it's worth. But yeah, Beats. And you mentioned Danny. Like anything Danny does, I'm bullish on, right? So time spell ice, exactly. And I see you post about him all the time. I actually had the opportunity to meet him in Abu Dhabi, and I only spent about 10 minutes with the dude, but like he's about as nice as you would assume Danny's going to be, like a super freaking nice guy that has Bitcoin tattooed on his middle finger. Like he's a great, and you wouldn't know that he's got like,
baby.
Like, I mean, I don't know what the total TVL is on all of his projects, but it's massive. And
it's over 5 billion on Spell now. They just crossed.
And that's just one project.
5 billion.
One of them,
right?
So you just seem like a very humble dude, very open to talking. It was nice. He was only there for a day.
I love how he's just so focused on what. Sorry, I'm adjusting my camera here. The ethos of DeFi, right? Like he's trying to get adoption to the masses by like launching Wonderland on Avalanche, for instance. Olympus with DeFi 2.0. And sorry to the audience if I'm going down the rabbit hole, but like protocol on liquidity it's big. But if it's on Ethereum, you're gatekeeping all these people out, and that's changed with time. So that's why I think time is a true competitor, or can coincide or even win the Olympus war, or whatever you want to call that. We don't have to go down that route, but that, what I'm saying? It's just, I think he's doing a great job of truly trying to get DeFi as far adopted as possible. And you do that on chains like Fantom and Avalanche, Polygon, Luna.
I almost hate to say it, but occasionally when someone just launches on Ethereum, almost like, do you care if anyone retail even can afford to invest in you?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's like, what the hell? What are you doing? That's how I feel like.
Yeah, he's got a really, not only is he a great visionary, but he has an extremely capable team surrounding him. Like, and you guys, I'm sure, hang out in some of the discords and like get to interact with the other devs and the other guys that are in there, and you can just see that there is a 4D chess type of vision that they're putting together, how all of these protocols are going to work with one another, and I can kind of picture like Popsicle being one of the OGs of it, and then they said, well, we're really going to need lending, and we're really going to need our own stable coin that's now like number 5 stable coin, X, Y, and Z, and they're just like, screw it, let's go build this shit and see what happens. And here we are, and pretty much anything he touches is going to turn to gold right now.
And the momentum, I feel, has gained such solid traction that we'll see obviously, where things go, but I do feel that it's gained enough traction that, yeah, they have a really good shot of turning that vision into a reality. So
this is the popsicle ice chart, and back below where you can see is where I started with it, and I was a little bit nervous at a few bucks. I'm glad I aped.
Yeah.
It's more than 10x.
Well, okay,
It's far beyond 10x.
You want to share some TA on this then? I mean, because like obviously a lot of people hopped in. You see those massive green candles, and now they're like devastated.
Why should you be? Why are you buying into the parabolic run if you're going to invest in it?
Well,
You
because
wait for the
people don't
pullback.
know. Well, right. That's what you do, but a lot of people bought right there. So
yeah, I saw Danny's comment last night on Twitter. He was like, why would you buy into a project unless you're into it for 6 months?
Unless you're going to be trading it in and out, right?
I think he was responding to the people who bought here and is worried, and they probably shouldn't be. I mean, individually, if I had single-sided bought into that and lost 20%, would I be concerned? Yeah, that would bother me. I'll totally admit that. I'm a human, but the project's incredible. It had a parabolic run up. It's going to find support, and it's probably going to continue to go on up. I mean, no promises, but I think that's what's going to happen. And why did it reject so hard? In the crypto cave, M1 managed to get Fibonacci's onto this guy. I can't even figure out how to find Fibonacci's put onto this chart, but he did. And this rejection of going down was exactly at a fib. It was totally expected.
I mean, I assume if you were drawing fibs, assuming we take out this parabolic run up and the dip, if we go back to the last run up and the dip, I mean, you could very easily draw a fib from that swing low to the swing high, have it coming down, and then you're going to get your levels above that.
That's not quite what I mean. Where I'm charting it, I literally can't put a fib on it. It's not an option.
Oh, in the Keck tools?
Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't find fib in here.
use Dex tools, man.
You guys. I know it says it uses Trading View, but it doesn't pull the.
Hold on. Look on the left side of your screen.
Yeah.
I mean, I see it there, but yeah, they might have like the version that they imported, that doesn't have that functionality. Aside from full Trading View, I mean, I've got full Trading View up. If you want, I could pull it up. But yeah, Keck Tools is like Fantom native, so I just like supporting them. Their token KEK is on Spooky Swap, and if you can LP it and then throw it in a Reaper farm, and then you get more higher tiers too. So
let's go, Weston, bringing the heat. I love it.
Yeah, well, it's like hey, you get a great charting plus some. I mean, just like great returns, like 50% or something. I mean, that's nothing. Like ideally what you want, but that's still 100x what you're going to get in a bank. So
one thing I think, back on, because we just looked at a nice chart, there's a beautiful pullback happening right now. I think one place where Danny has really gone well is all of his protocols include a distribution of fees to buy back the token and give to stakers, which has, they call it the Merlin candle for Spell. I don't know what they're going to, maybe the Valhalla candle for Popsicle. I'm not sure what they're going to call it, but that does inherently, it causes two things to happen. Obviously, it causes the slight buy pressure that the protocol will give. And as the protocol grows, more buy pressure. But what I think it causes in the minds of the community is it causes a feeling that a floor will be set by the protocol itself to reignite, the upward momentum. If we look at the market cap, even just the circulated market cap is huge. It's $500 million.
Yeah. Can we pull up Spell while you're talking about this? Because I think you're making an excellent point. You're talking about, so like Stake Spell is a beautiful mechanism for value accrual and long-term success of the protocol is what I'm hearing you say, I think, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It means that when people are staking Spell, as the protocol grows and as fees naturally grow along with it, they reward holders, and you can see it sitting down on a trend line right there. If you want to draw that real quick, so you can see it's hopefully will hold that. But in any case, I think it also it's a little bit of a social thing where people know, as if you look at this protocol with $5 billion TVL currently, And you know that that's
going to explode.
right. And it's generating fees. And so you say to yourself, okay, we know these buybacks are coming. We don't know when these buybacks are coming, but if I see it sitting down on support, it's almost like a mental thing that, okay, they're going to set a floor. Now, whether they can or can't set a floor based upon the amount of fees is completely up to, how much goes into the buybacks, but it does cause a little mental thing with the community, in my personal opinion.
Well, and there's just this hype about it too, and market psychology is always a critical factor. I think as long as that continues, that's only going to help push the momentum of these projects together too. And it's like they're coming out with news every day, and I am just so bullish on those three projects, which do tie into, I guess, Avalanche and Fantom, because you can get your wrap memo, put that on Fantom, put that on Avalanche.
Yep.
And for people who don't know, that's staked time. It's actually called memo. I don't know if we don't need to go down that rabbit hole, but Wonderland, it's an incredible project. It's a fork of Ohm, but on Avalanche. And
Weston told me about it here.
Okay. Let's go.
I think he was talking here, and I bought the first pullback and got very, very happy. I mean, it's double. Now, Weston is totally hooked on always staking it single-sided. I'm back into half against stablecoin because I found a deep, dark DeFi hole where I could get insane interest if I put it against MIM, because no one wants to do that. But for the most part, I can see the point of being single-sided because of the rebasing and the incredible pressure of price that is coming in, because I almost feel like while time comes down because it has so much inflation, you can see that the market cap is going up because of what's happening with wrapped memo's price. At least that's how it feels like a relationship. I personally have never been able to see or feel that 60% interest that's rebasing inside.
It's APY.
It's APY, to be fair.
I don't know where that money's going. It's not going to my wallet, but it is going into this chart and it is going up. So I'm happy. I've done very, very well with it.
I'll give you the technical answer, and I'm sure Weston, you probably could too, but it's happening. In the wrap token, the rebases are occurring, the value is going up. So, I guess you just got to trust the smart contract is doing its job. But the reason the single-sided is so great is because then you're getting actually more tokens.
Well, don't get me wrong. I wish I was single-sided for most of this run-up, but I couldn't find a good place to stake it. And when I did, it was better. But at this time, because I found a super secret like 10x APR,
well, hey, yeah,
again, in case we get a bit of a correction here.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, though. Isn't wrapped memo the equivalent of like a receipt token you would get in a vault? So essentially what's happening is the ratio of wrapped memo to the amount of time it's worth is continually increasing.
Yes.
Am I right? So if you were to bridge your memo back over to AVAX, you should see that appreciation in the amount of tokens you actually have if you were to bridge it over.
Memo.
I might be wrong.
So when you stake your Wonderland, right? It's a decentralized reserve currency. That's what they're building. And when you stake it, it becomes, time becomes memo. And then if you want to have the ability to say collateralize it, take a loan against it, or bridge it, put it off chain, that's where you need to put it in a wrapper. And then that's what makes it wrappable. So when you do that, that is where the value accrues. You do not see it if you move it across chain. You would only, you just would sell it, or you can unwrap it and then unstake your time or memo back to time.
It's one of those things where you can literally earn on every level and have multiple levels of the DeFi. It's not the most simple thing for someone new trying to come in and understand it.
Yeah. No, but just buying and holding too is been pretty effective. The price should be declining at this point, and that's why I'm so bullish on it, because I've been watching their treasury assets closely over the past couple of weeks. It was at 250 million or so, and I checked it last night. It was at 450 million. So what they can do, and what I know from reading and research, they've got some big plans. I'm pretty bullish on Time, Ice, and Spell.
Yeah.
So what do you think, Austin? And then how does that tie into DeFi, Fantom, and Avalanche for traders, right? Because those are like 3 mega projects that could almost like not take over, but like be the kingpins of DeFi. Where does it all fit?
Well, I and I'll tell you, I do not leave Fantom pretty much for any reason, unless I am just, the last time I left Fantom was to buy some World of Humans NFTs, the originals over on OpenSea, and that's pretty much it. I don't leave Fantom, right? So I did not bridge over to AVAX just because I couldn't bring myself to do it. Nothing against
we're in the
AVAX.
same place right now. I still haven't gotten myself to do it, even though I really want to get involved with Time directly.
So, but I am involved in like other Ohm forks, like Exodia is one that I'm playing around in, and
cool.
Really I'm playing around in that one because they put me on the multi-sig, and I had an opportunity to chat with the admin, and I liked what he had in mind. So
yeah, you're on like 50 multi-sigs now, by the way, too, aren't you? Like
I'm in a lot of multi-sigs, man. Scream and Liquid Driver and Mensa and Summit DeFi
good.
asked me to go on one this morning. That's fine. Yeah, I don't mind doing it. It's easy enough gig,
Yeah. But you don't leave Fantom, and I understand why. I mean, like people say it, but it's true. It really is the best, in my opinion, I guess. User experience, best communities. It's just the best. And when you compare the market cap to the TVL and all these things, it's like fundamentally it's the strongest. And with what's coming down the pipeline, with the Binance Cloud, with the FVM in 22, and I don't know how you can't.
Debit cards coming to DeFi?
Yeah.
Fantom?
Well,
Yeah,
I mean, debit cards are not like an inherently unique thing, right? There's a ton of centralized debit cards, but this one is a little bit unique in that. So the debit card, the way that it gets funded is all through smart contracts, and it technically is decentralized, meaning you maintain control of your money, and then when you're ready to spend, from what he explained to me, it essentially checks balance and then sells on your behalf. I don't know. We'll have to see how it all works. The guy seemed pretty cool though.
But the idea is cool.
The idea is cool, right? And the thing he told me was, because they were a Binance Launchpad project, just liquidity, and they could not launch on Binance Smart Chain. It wasn't working. Too many fees and too long a transaction time. So they're actually natively launching the whole thing on Fantom, which I thought was really cool.
Because Fantom's good enough to make it work.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's a win. That's a win.
People don't understand how much better, like, I won't go into it, but like
we don't need to go into it. Yeah.
It's just it's the best. And you've got 3 people here who are very knowledgeable about this, and take it for what it's worth. Fantom could do anything, right? It could dump and it could go higher, but if you're looking at fundamentals and user experience, it's the best. Like I don't want to trade anywhere else either. Sometimes I have to go to Avalanche. Sometimes I have to go to Ethereum, which is like a nightmare. But Fantom, like Spooky Swap, and you said Spirit Swap. I'm 4-year locked in that Spirit all day.
Spirit. Have you been reading about the new liquid Lin Spirit for short?
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm confused. It legitimately says it's liquid and that it's locked forever. I'm like, which is it? The Medium article I read left me wondering what in the world.
I'd be happy to explain. Yeah, so that's one of the multi-sigs I'm on. I met Dr. Liquid in Abu Dhabi. They're a great team. So Lin Spirit essentially works like this. You take your Spirit and you mint Lin Spirit. It goes into a contract that every single week locks it again for 4 years, right? And your Lin Spirit, there's a Lin Spirit pool. So if you want to trade your Lin Spirit back for Spirit token, you can do so. However, a couple of things that does. One thing it does is it allows you to earn in the protocol fees that are shared within Spirit holders, which my time, it happens every Wednesday at 8 p.m. I know it's coming. Ready for it. Payday, right?
Right.
So you can get that while getting the full 4-year, amount of in spirit payment essentially. And then when you're ready to move on and get your spirit back, you just go to the market and trade your Lin spirit for spirit, assuming the balance is there, right?
Yes. So it's like Grim.
It's exactly like Grim. It's just a wrapped version. It's just like wrapped curve that Yearn does. Identical.
Yeah. Okay. So instead of having to be locked yourself on curve, I got you. There's probably pros and cons of both, but yeah, it's pretty innovative. When I saw that, I was like, wow, Liquid Driver. I've been bullish on them for a long time.
They're great.
The only
here's what
question
it does.
Economics.
But they have they have their own version of the VE curve model. So, they have XLQDR, right? And the way that those benefits go to X Liquid Driver stakers are they have all these pools. And
I'm staked heavy in Liquid Driver too.
Boom. So the Lin spirit is going to, when spirit moves to all gauges, which they're going to do at some point, right? That was Danny's suggestion. Go completely gauges. Then what's going to happen is they're going to get the boosts on those pools because now they have enough in spirit to boost the pools. And so it's going to boost the amount of rewards going to XLQDR stakers. It is a win-win-win in all sides.
The previous comments on this from the spirit team was that in order to get in spirit boosts when you're staked somewhere else is if the master wallet of whatever protocol like Terra was using, if they wanted to do it, they would have to do Lin spirit themselves or in spirit themselves in their master wallet. But I think it's totally cool that at Liquid Driver, they're allowing us to choose to make that happen for us instead of hope that the master wallet holder wants to do that for us.
Right.
Put you back in control.
So I just, Dr. Liquid just sent me a message and I'm like, hey bro, I'm talking about you on YouTube right now. That's the only reason I looked at my phone. Otherwise that would be like the rudest thing you could ever do. But yeah, I'm super bullish on Liquid Driver as a
Tell him I love his name. That's just the coolest thing. Dr. Liquid.
Yeah. So for me, like you were talking about earlier, okay, so whether Fantom goes up or Fantom goes down, we don't know what the hell is going to happen. But I will tell everyone that's new, if you can get yourself a solid DeFi portfolio of farms that you're bullish on long term, regardless really of what the market does. Like for me, if my overall portfolio can average between 80 and 100% APR, right? Non-compounded APR. Yeah. I really don't give a shit what the market does because I'm just going to chill, right? I'm fine. Take your time.
Sorry. I'm laughing because that sounds, I'm with you, but that so my background is traditional finance, right? And I remember as a financial advisor talking about like 10% a year is fantastic. and you're like, hey, if I can just get 80, 100%, I'll take it.
I'll survive, Yeah. Everything will be okay.
I was doing a courtesy to someone in traditional finance the other day, and I met with them, and I needed to review my life insurance, and they're like, you really need to get after the 7 or 8% a year. I was like, I told you what I do for a living. I sometimes make 60% in a day. You want me to make 7% a year? No. Are you using these things? Use these. No.
Oh man.
Austin, do you know about so I'm probably gonna lock up some more Liquid Driver based on what we just talked about.
Love Liquid Driver.
I love the claiming every day thing.
Oh dude, it's the best.
Isn't it? It's just like, when is it 7 or 6 or 5, I guess, in Central State, but I get to
Is it set to a specific clock or is that your time that you click once a day?
Every day?
It's an epoch goes off. And so like for me, it's the exact same time as when we do it for Spirit Swap on Wednesdays. But this is every 24 hours. And the APR there for XLQDR stakers is right now, I think like 240% APR.
Yeah. It was like almost 300 recently, but I think it went down a little. But it'll probably go up considering what you just said. And
Spirit.
But my concern was when I was reading the docs, their tokenomics. I don't know if they updated that. Sounded like there was unlimited minting. So what do you know, has there been any change on that, or?
I honestly don't, but I do know the emission is relatively small. I mean, you can obviously check out, their. I mean, let me pull up their site. We'll take a look real quick. Hang the hell on.
Yeah, well, and maybe we get Dr. Liquid to share on this, because like with Spirit, I did like and trading nickels here. David is gonna laugh, but like I did such a thorough vetting of the protocol. I think actually, Austin, after we talked a few months back, and I was like, this thing is set to pop. They're copying Curve on Fantom, and the tokenomics are designed so well that it's just going to work well if you lock up. Now,
Yeah.
Of course, no, not financial advice.
So
it's your personal belief that you'll do great if you do that.
Yeah.
Dr. Liquid's watching. Maybe he can pop into the comments, but he just hit me up on Telegram, and he said here, I'll read you what he said. Hang on. Unlimited minting really doesn't change anything. That will reduce emissions over time. But let's say any protocol reaches their max supply, what would they do? They would increase the supply or lose all of their TVL. So I mean, really, they haven't set a max ceiling. But if you go and look at their token emissions, I mean, they're far less than. I mean, we've got 2.5 circulating, and we've got 1.4 million locked LQDR. So it's a pretty, they're getting. I think what he's hoping to do is keep the APR high enough for XLQDR stakers that the amount that's getting locked up every week should be somewhat similar to the emissions, right? And that way they're keeping a balance on the market.
Because the more they can get as XLQDR, the better and more efficient. He can drive the protocol the way that he wants, right? Is essentially how I understand it, and then everybody wins.
Everybody wins. I will tell you that's been one of my best performing. Locking up is tough because you're making this decision that, okay, shit, I'm gonna ride or die this with you, because like my Spirit is locked for 4 years and I relock it every week. I don't know where I'm gonna be in 4 years. I don't know. I hope to be alive 4 years from now. You know what I mean? Like we don't in crypto. That's like,
I hope my will can explain to my descendants how to get this money.
Yeah.
Well, but here's the other thing. I locked the 4-year Spirit like in August, and that I think it's 6x since then. So yeah, I don't care. Like the weekly paycheck, like you said, is like it's a weekly paycheck.
But
the claim.
Now, do you relock or are you just letting it go?
I actually have been, because 4 years is so long. I'm just like, might as well relock it. I'm bullish on the project.
Right. Take the APR and make your money back that way is the way that I look at it,
Exactly. And with the Liquid Driver and Spirit Swap, it's like I'm literally getting a paycheck every day, every week. And then the other one we haven't talked about is, and I don't know if you're as bullish on this, is Taro. Also, I'm getting daily claims there.
Yep.
I'm a little heartbroken about Taro right now, actually. I don't know. Thoughts on it?
Yeah. So, I mean, I have a lot of thoughts on Taro. I absolutely love Taro because Tigris of Gaul was in our developer chat giving us daily updates as he was building out the project. And it's one that I jumped into. Yeah, he is one of those wizard developers. Like he's great.
Yes.
And don't let, the current Taro price deter you from bullishness on the platform because
I bought more. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good, man. I love Taro. I love completely what the platform's doing. They're going to introduce some form of utility with the X Taro they have coming, which really just means they take protocol fees, they buy Taro back on the open market, and they distribute it to X Taro, just like XBOO, right?
Yeah, or Stake Spell, right?
Exactly. Idea. Same principle, man. So I love that platform. I'm uber bullish on anything he does.
I know. I'm so impressed by him in the Discord too. I actually reached out to him, because I was so impressed with the way they launched their liquidity generation event, design, like how they designed the smart contracts for that. And then I was just like, wow, this person really knows what they're doing, and watching it. So I'm just like hella bullish on it, but seeing I would hate for it to get lost in the noise, I guess, is my fear.
Because it doubled and halved and doubled and halved, and it's done that price a few times, and you know, that could be a little bit nervous for you. I understand. Did I take some profits and expect it to fall down and add back in? I did. I'm not 100% hodler. Forgive me.
Yeah, you know, it's got a 200 million TVL still and a market cap of what, 12 million. Like,
and the protocol is amazingly useful. But
Yeah.
I know we don't have you too much longer, Austin. So what are some
we could go on forever.
takeaways that you want to go? Because you're right. We could talk together forever, Weston.
Well, first thing before I jet, I want to say that I want to do this again because this is great with you guys. I'm really enjoying like chatting ecosystem with y'all, right?
Yeah.
All right, let me hang on. Let me really, there's so much going on. I gotta like pull up my bookmarks to remember who's who, right? So lending is big on the horizon, right? We have a bunch of cool lenders. We've got My Finance, who I love those guys. We've got obviously Abracadabra. We've got Scream, which is just like an epic team. I had a call this morning with Ken Pecky Finance, which is the yield credit guys from over on ETH. They're coming and launching an entirely new protocol on Fantom. And the way that it's going to work is lenders and borrowers can actually choose what APR they want to lend at or borrow at. And what it's essentially going to do is cause a competitive landscape where lenders are going to have to compete with one another to get APRs lower. Borrowers, what they're going to do is have some form of token emission, in that if you choose to borrow at a slightly higher fixed rate APR, you will get an emission of their token on top of that, to some degree, right? Really cool what they're putting together.
Peer or like direct.
It's similar to P2P lending. Yeah, it's similar to that, but really what they're trying to do is have no centralized. Like, we all say that they're decentralized. However, there's pools and there's this and there's that. And he actually wants to make it so that the team pretty much doesn't exist.
I understand.
Just roll with it.
Protects us going forward against future regulation. That is gorgeous.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're talking about like more DAO than team led, like it is now, because then they can look at them like a corporation.
I would imagine eventually that would be the direction they want to go, but it's like they take 0% of the protocol fees. Obviously, some of the tokens they will hold, so that would be, you know, the way that they would get paid for their work. But 100% of protocol fees goes back to buyback and burn the token automatically, and I assume that's all coded up into the contracts. So pretty neat the way that they have it done
on GitHub if you know what you're doing, but you don't have to do that either. But I was going to say too, you know, Firebird Finance, OpenOcean, you know, a lot of people don't know that there's these aggregators too on Fantom. So be aware of that, you know. But Beethoven, like you said, beats. That's why I'm bullish on them. They win out on like three-quarters of the time, maybe is my guess. So
the fundamentals for Beethoven are so deep. I would encourage anyone watching this. It's beats.fi or beethovenx.io. Go check them out, play with their platform, see how well done they are. Go jump in their Discord and interact with their admins. And part of the reason is, so you'll notice some of the administrators on their Discord are also administrators on the FTM Alerts Discord. I'm very close with that team. They're extremely capable. I'm uber bullish on what they're doing, and their TVL to market cap ratio is ridiculous.
Right? At some point, you'd have to think it's, again, anything can happen, but if you're looking for risk-adjusted returns, that is a major one I love. So, and I'm with you 100%. So yeah, why don't we wrap then? Any closing thoughts that we should share on DeFi ecosystem? Hope this is helpful to everybody. You know, we could do more tutorials and that kind of stuff, but just talking about this stuff is so important. Because there's so much happening in DeFi, you know.
Yeah.
But
there's a lot going on.
We're all on Twitter. We're all on YouTube. We're and Fantom Alerts has an amazing Discord.
Join Austin.
We have an amazing Discord.
FTM Alerts. For sure. Follow him on Twitter. Just dropping alpha all the time. Follow Auto Bravado. I'm at Weston Nelson on Twitter. I probably tweet too much. I'm like a fiend. I just tweet.
I'm like scared to tweet. I'm like, Weston will just beat me anyway. I tweet so much. You're
And,
awesome. I'm like, I have so much to say, and it comes out into the Discord more than anywhere else.
yeah.
I gotta
Yeah,
get more Twitter. Like, I gotta get my Twitter courage back.
Yes. So you know, and we'll have more coming and coming. Try to keep people up to speed in DeFi, and but you know, we get busy trading, obviously. So yeah, that's I this was a great time, guys. I had a blast chatting. So thank you. Unless you have anything else to say, I think we can probably wrap it here.
I'm good, boys. That was great.
Sounds good. Thank you so much, Austin. Thank you, Weston.
Boom.
You know,
Cheers.
trade safe always.
Yes, and we will talk soon. Thanks, Austin. Thanks, David.
Later,
Adios.
y'all.
Bye.